So as you can see, I don't have anything. It's just two nodes, SQL node 1 and node 2. So I'm going to configure always on. I will not take much time. It's just a couple of seconds. And then you have to troubleshoot along with me what went wrong and how to troubleshoot and where to check the logs, all these things. So this will be almost like the real-time issues. I just generated few issues for ourselves, just for our practice purpose. So first thing is I will just create one database so that I can add that database to always on. So I'll say demo 1 DB.
Talking about this on-premises or always?
This is on Azure, but it remains the same even on premises. Okay, so in on-premises, we don't have the concept of load balancer or distributed network name. Rest all remains the same, right? I mean, we'll create the listener, we'll get the free IP from your network team, and you will do that, right? So I'm not even going to create listener. So the concepts are mostly related to on-premises and Azure VMs. I mean, IaaS. I'm not creating the listener at all. So if I'm not creating the listener, the concept remains the same even on premises. So usually you will go for interviews, or not just for interviews. In real time, you will see node getting disconnected or database going into a suspect state or not synchronizing, something like that, right? So you don't know how to, I mean, not all of you, like few people don't know how to troubleshoot and where to troubleshoot. So I'm focusing only on that area. So I'm not going to create any listener today. So it is just a session purely to concentrate on how to troubleshoot the scenarios. Just two scenarios, very quick scenarios, and I will not take much time. It's just half an hour session. So I'm just creating a dummy database now. Nothing is there for the moment. I'm just creating a dummy database. So I have the failover cluster, Windows failover cluster. So that is there. That is the background, and I'm running on 2022 SQL 2022 because it is 16.0. right? So it is SQL 2022, and I am on Windows Server 2019. So this is the setup, and these two missions are part of domain. Okay, so that's the background. As you can see, I've just created one sample demo in front of you, and I'm going to add this database to always on. And I'm just clicking on wizard. I'll say demo availability group, demo AG. I'm not creating any contained databases here. It's just the regular standard always on databases, because contained databases are only related to SQL 22. So I'm not going to touch on this. It's already done. So I'm not touching on this. So it's just standard always on. So full backup is required. I didn't take that. So let's take one full backup. If you have any questions, you can stop me, no problem. And if I refresh, it will be gone. So I met the prerequisites which are required for me to add this database to always on. So I'm clicking on this. Next. So I need to add nodes. I have only two nodes, node 1 and node 2. So I'm adding the second node. Okay, and I'm making this to synchronous. It can be asynchronous also, doesn't matter. So that's it. I'm not going to create listener here. So as I said, it's purely, we are going to concentrate on the errors. Okay, node 1, node 2 has been added. Clicking on next, and I'm going with automatic seeding. Automatic seeding, as you know, it will create the database on other end. Try to use automatic seeding for databases which are, I will say, maybe less than 500 GB. So if there is anything greater than that, please don't make use of automatic seeding, because we have few issues. Try to make use of restore and then click on join only. Or else, if the databases are small in size, you can go with automatic seeding. This is just a demo, so I can go with automatic seeding. Clicking on next. So everything is showing as successful. It's saying a configuration, listener configuration warning, because I have not created listener. It's okay, fine. We are not focusing on listener today. So clicking on next, I'm clicking on finish. Okay, everything is successful. So I have my dashboard ready. I mean, my availability group ready. So if I click on this, and if I click on dashboard, it says, it's in front of you. It's clearly showed, right? I mean, you can see the success message. We just witnessed the success message, but it says SQL node 2 is not synchronizing. So now this happens in real time also. That's why I just wanted to focus on things that are close enough to match with real time. So now how will you troubleshoot what went wrong? It's up to you to speak now. You can unmute yourselves and you can talk.
That same database exists in the secondary node?
No, that is not there. So if you can see, if I refresh this, nothing is there.
Yeah. So then we can you expand primary available group?
Okay. I will do all the things,
yeah.
whatever you want me to do. So yeah, replicas.
Yes, replicas, please.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Availability databases.
Okay.
Where is everything? So can we restore the same database in this and try to add the node again? Is that
No, we can do it, but the thing is that just consider this option. It's just a nothing database, right? It's just a demo database with no contents inside it, and still we are getting some errors. It shows the message as success, but it's not happening due to some reason. So how will you troubleshoot? That's what I want, rather than the other approaches, join only or something like that. Even join only will not work here. I can tell you that there is something else here. So what is that something else, and how will you troubleshoot?
Same folder is not there on secondary side.
Doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not adding any files here. If I'm trying to add files or file group, I need to ensure that I have the same thing so that it will not break up. But I'm just creating a demo database. I mean, the folder structure exists the same. You need not worry about folder structure. Yes, I consider that as one point. Okay, think about next. What can you do? What?
Expand always availability group in secondary.
Secondary. Okay, so I'm expanding secondary. It says secondary. Databases. Yeah.
is it something kind of permission issues?
Yeah, permission issue. You said so. What permission should I give?
NT authority system. Go to NT authority system.
Okay, NT authority / system. So if I go here, okay, I'm granting sysadmin. And by the way, for the people, so if you are on 2022, you need not worry about NT authority / system. That error is there on older versions, but on 2022, you need not give any permissions. But still, I will give sysadmin just for your understanding purpose. So I'm giving NTRT / system as sysadmin on both the nodes. Okay. And then again, I'm clicking on, I'm going here and I'm trying to join to availability group. I'm clicking on this. And let's see.
So can is it is SQL Node 1 instance service account is having sufficient permissions on SQL Node 2?
So that's the point. So you are saying whether the permissions are there for the service account on node 2. So,
yeah,
okay.
What is the service account that we are using for node 1? That permission has to be there in the node 2 as well.
Okay. So now let's go to our configuration manager.
Here the issue is it's showing, it seems in availability replicas, it's showing the secondary replica, it's showing disconnected state, right?
Yeah, it is showing as disconnected. Yeah.
So there is no communication in between node 1 node 2. Since
that's a point.
Firewall, any firewall.
Okay, so let's check that first. Let's go phase by phase. So first we'll check the firewall things. So I can say TNC. TNC is nothing but test-net connection. It's a short term. You can use that. I don't need computer name, but still, just for the demo purpose, I'm saying computer name. I mean the full name. Computer name, and it is SQL node 2. Sorry, SQL node 2. I'm on node 1 and I'm checking the port numbers 1433 and 5022. Okay, that is true, which means I don't have any issues from node 1 to node 2. And I don't have any issues with 5022 either. Okay, let's do the same thing on node 2 because you want me to check. So I'll do that. So this time on node 2. So I'll say TNC SQL node 1 hyphen port 1433. And few people will always ask you to run what is that command? Telnet. You don't need to make use of Telnet because you have to install Telnet tools. So on the modern machines, if you are on 2012, I think even on 2008, if I'm not wrong, Windows, I'm talking about Windows, you can just perform this test-net connection, which is equivalent to telnet. Okay, so I don't have any issues over there. 5022, it's fine. So with respect to ports, I'm not being blocked. Okay, so the second thing someone asked me to check in what is that, service account permissions. That is the second thing what they are saying. And third thing is someone asked me to grant permissions to NT-authority/system, and I did that, but still nothing is happening. Okay,
Is
so
it
let's
some kind of alter permission on the availability group name?
nothing. So as you said, let's check the service accounts. So for the moment, it is with the default account NT service/MS SQL server. I didn't grant any domain account here. Okay, so let's check on the other side, Node 2, how it looks. Sorry, SQL server manager 16, SQL services. So even on Node 2, the services are running with NT service/MS SQL server. Imagine your machines are part of a domain, but still you are running your SQL services with local account. It happens, right? Sometimes it happens in real time. If you're running with running on Kubernetes or Linux, so where you don't have that luxury of Active Directory. So then in those scenarios, definitely your services will run with local system account. So I'm in kind of position like that. So I'm running my services with SQL Server account. So now what should I do? Should I grant NT service MS SQL Server here, or what should I do?
Vamshi, can we check first error log first?
That is the point. I'm just waiting for that one thing, and finally someone said error log. Yes, you're spot on. When you are getting errors, it's okay. You are just saying the different ways to troubleshoot, but the first and foremost thing is check the error logs.
And also we need to verify in extended events always on session, right?
That is all like the next level. So first thing first. So we don't need to go anywhere. First thing that comes to our mind is check the error logs. So it is showing me an error saying that now let's go to the 4:15:13. So this is the latest thing, which is matching to my time zone, 3:14 p.m. So as you can see, database mirroring login attempted by contoso/SQL node 2 $ failed with connection handshake. Handshake. Okay, so it just got failed. So I will remove this. So what should I do now? This is the error what I can see on error logs.
Here it's showing clearly endpoint, permissional endpoint.
So which account should I add now to make this to work? Remember guys, if you are having this kind of issue where the services are running with local system like NT service or local system account, something like that, so you will get this error. Okay, so you have to add the other way around. For node 1, you have to add this account, and for node 2, you have to add node 1's account, and then you have to grant connect permissions on the endpoint. Then only it will work. Okay, so if you are getting any errors, my main intention is not to show how to resolve this error. I'm letting you know the approach, what approach you should follow when you are troubleshooting always on. Okay, that is what I'm trying to explain here. So as you can see, when I created, it got succeeded. But when I went into the always on availability groups, so it shows as disconnected here. When it shows as disconnected, the first thing what you have to check is, of course, we didn't start from there. First thing is I will check whether the nodes are up and running. So for that, I will go to clue admin. Okay, let me wait for it. So I will go whether I will check whether node 1 and node 2 are up and running. And because there are few scenarios where I've seen the nodes going into quarantine state. I have written an article in my blog also. So nodes will go into quarantine state from 2016, I guess, Windows 2016 or 2012 R2. I'm not sure with the Windows operating system versions. In that case, if that is the case, you have to clear that quarantine. There is one command to clear that. So that's a different story. First thing first, when you are troubleshooting always on, first go to your clue admin, okay, and connect your clusters and see whether the nodes are up and running. If the nodes are up and running, then the approach differs. Then the troubleshooting methodology differs. So as you can see, my node 1 and node 2 are up and running. I don't have any issues with nodes, and I will check networks. Okay, I don't have any issues with network. So first two things I have to check here. I don't have anything. Okay, then I will come here and I will check my error logs. Second thing is I will check my error logs. If I'm able to find something inside my error logs, I will try to action on that part. Here you can see my services are running with the local accounts. So I don't have the permissions on the endpoint. That's the reason, even though it has shown up as successful, it's not happening. It's just misguiding you. Okay. So I have to add the accounts for that to get fixed. You got the approach, right? I mean, the way you should troubleshoot the always on. Again, I'm saying first check your clue admin. Check whether the nodes are up or not. Check whether your networks are up and running, and then come to your error logs. After seeing the error logs, if you're not able to find anything that makes sense, then you can go with this TNC, then your permissions, rest all these, the different things what you told me to check. Okay. So that is the approach. So for the moment, I'm changing this to service account. I mean, we can add, or we can do like, because I wanted to create one more demo. So I'm changing this now. Clear? Or any questions? It's a simple thing. As I told you, it's not something very technical, but still, few people don't know how to troubleshoot. So that's the reason I took this class. SQL SVC. I have to do the same thing on another node. So once I change the service accounts, it will work, but not, this is not the right solution. As I told you, you need to add this account to node 1, and you have to add the node 1's account to node 2, this dollar account, because we are with local system accounts. If that is the case, we call it as dollar accounts. Domain name / the computer dollar account, computer name dollar account. Usually this error appears when you're configuring the listener in always on, where you don't have permissions at AD level. That's called as pre-staging. If you're not able to understand, let me know, guys. I will stop and I'll take your questions. Okay, let me do this on secondary node. And now I'm going to throw one more scenario for you guys. It will be very interesting, and you guys have to troubleshoot what went wrong. Hope no questions.
So could you please explain when we will get the dollar account? Because if we are if you see the logins, list of the logins, we don't have any login name with that account, right?
Yes. So when you have created the SQL server at the time of installation, when you don't give any domain accounts, and if you just install your SQL server with the defaults, so it will appear something like this: NT service / MS SQL server and NT service / SQL server agent. So those are the accounts that gets created when you are going with defaults. Means at the time of installation, when you are not giving any service accounts, so it will go with these accounts. Okay. And for example, you try to install always on without changing the service account of SQL, like the domain name / SQL SVC. So but for some reason you forgot that, and it is running with defaults. If that is the case, what happens is that some question, it's clear on, okay. This computer, node 1, this computer needs to talk to node 2, right? So when we are part of a domain advantage is I can talk to any mission with one account, right? In your organization, you have multiple domains, and there will be multiple computers inside that domain. So do you have a specific account for each and every computer? Like we have 10 computers. So will you log in with computer 1 / your username, computer 2 / user username? No, right? So you'll go with one account, domain name / some username, and you can log into all your computers. That's how the domain is configured. I mean, the Active Directory is configured. But in our case, since NT service / SQL MS SQL server is the service account for SQL server, this service account, when it needs to authenticate to secondary server, okay, since we are not part of since this service is not part of any domain, Okay, so it will use something called as dollar account here. As you can see, it is trying to connect with domain name / computer name / dollar. So this error happens quite regularly, guys. And even when you are connecting from reporting services or from web.config files, you will see this error, something called as dollar account. If that is the case, you have to check your service accounts. Straight away, go and ask the application teams and ask them to show with which connection it is trying to connect to the database. Especially in the .NET code, there is something called as web.config file. So if they are not configured properly, you will get this error. So don't grant permissions to this. It's the issue with service accounts. You can do to just mitigate the problem, but that is not the right way. Okay, let me delete this and I will create one more scenario. And then
But Vamshi, sorry to interrupt. Actually, it's a prerequisite, right? I mean, we need to use only one service account in the always on all the
That's true.
replicas.
That's true.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is there are few scenarios, okay,
correct.
where
Understand.
you don't know how to troubleshoot. So this is I'm just trying to project you the solutions, and I'm trying to project you how to approach for the problem. That's it.
Yeah, it can happen in cloud. Actually, we don't have any domain controller. So
Yeah,
in
it
that
can
case,
happen in your cloud. It can happen in our work group missions, because not every company will be having their Active Directories, right? So there are chances.
yes.
Okay, so now the second thing will be very tricky, guys. So if one can answer this, I can straight away say he's very good at always on. Okay, so I'm doing again. So I'm just creating one database, a fresh database. I'll say demo2 DB. Okay, I deleted everything, nothing is there. So I'm creating the availability group again. I'll say demo AG2. I didn't take full backup because I've seen few people saying their database is out of sync, or it is not in synchronized state, or not synchronizing, suspect, something. Okay, so I will show you a demo on this. So you'll get to know what needs to be done. So full backup is required, that is done. Okay, next SQL node 2. I will go with synchronous, doesn't matter, but still I'm just going with synchronous. I'm not creating listener, so you need not worry about listener. Everything is okay, and I'm saying finish. Okay, done. Let's check the state. Demo 2 DB is there on primary, and it is in synchronized state. Let's check the node 2. Okay, still I have problems. Let me fix that. Node 2 is not yet joined. So what should I do? First thing is I have to check the error logs. So let's check the error log. Are you able to see something on error logs with error logs? It's at 3:19. Now the time is 3:25. I think I have not restarted my SQL service one, if I'm not wrong. Let me do this, and I'll check the permissions. It will get fixed, no problem. Just wait for a couple of seconds. Let's refresh. Yeah, see, I just restarted. The permissions got intact, and now it's in good shape. Now, okay, no errors, but I'll show you the dashboard also to be on a safer side. So everything is green. Now I will do something from my end, okay, and I will stop the screen share, and I'll ask you to troubleshoot from your end. Okay, so sorry, I have to stop the screen share just for a few seconds. Just wait, guys. I'm sorry, I'm making you wait, but I don't have any other option. Okay. Okay. Mm. Okay. Give me some time, just 1 more minute, not 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Vamsi, you said that because there were 2022, no need to require anti other sysadmin access, right?
That's what I observed when I'm doing.
Previously,
Previously, we need
2019.
permissions.
Even alter availability group, something
That is
is
also
there
not,
on the view
yeah,
server state.
that is also not
That is also
required.
not in 2022, right?
Yes, that is what I observed. Okay, I think I will not get this error. If I show, the problem is you will get to know the answer. So 1 second, guys, sorry. I should have deleted that. Still a good, no, it's in good shape. I don't want this to happen. Ooh, one mistake is enough to get the things first. Okay, I will do it again in front of you. So let me add and I will do some things and I'll do that. I'll just share the screen and then I'll do it again. Now I got something, but I removed the database. That's a different story. Let me refresh. Demo 2 DB. Okay. You're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, Vamshi.
Okay, 1 second. No, this is not. Can you just give me 1 more minute if you don't mind? I wanted to create that scenario. It will be very interesting. That's the reason. Can I do that? Sorry?
Sure, Vamsi,
Yeah.
you can go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to make the scenario interesting.
Your screen is visible.
Ah, thanks. That. I should have checked that part. It's okay, fine. Note 2. Okay. Just a problem. Okay, now I got this. Fine. Get ready in just 30 seconds. I'm adding now. Connect all, SQL node 2. Automatic seeding, next, finish, done. Okay, and now coming back here.
Are you sharing your screen? Because
No,
we are
no,
not
no.
able to.
No,
Okay.
I'm not sharing for us, just
Okay.
for
Thank you.
this demo purpose. 1 second. Let me finish off this. It's little more time than what I expected, but sometimes it happens. If I show up, it will not be interesting. That's the reason I'm just. Okay, done. Last step. Done. We demo 2 dB. Okay. All the different errors. So now what is the state? Show the dashboard. Yes. Now we are ready and we are good to go. I'm sharing the screen now. Before that, I have to close these windows. So now I'm sharing it back. You have to tell me what went wrong and how will you troubleshoot. Not here, I think here. Okay, so I added that demo DB2, right? It was successful and everything was green. But now if I click on dashboard, it is showing not synchronizing. So what will be your troubleshooting steps and what needs to be done to fix this? Let me refresh this and go to my secondaries. And this is how it looks. So I don't have any problems with connectivity with respect to replicas. So they are in good shape. So I can ignore this, just like our first scenario. We don't have any connectivity issues here. So we are good with this replicas, and we have to check the nodes and networks. Everything looks fine. So now it's a problem with 1 dB. We don't know what's the problem. For some reason, that dB is like showing, it's appearing like this, the kind of warning or some suspect kind of thing. So I'm just clicking on join. So it is showing some error. Demo DB doesn't exist. So what will you do now?
The same, start with error log.
State with error log. So let's go with
Yeah.
error logs. Error log on node 1 or node 2?
Node 2.
Node 2. Okay. Error log, all text.
So can we take the full backup and restore in the secondary replica in the restoring mode and then add to the availability group?
Okay, let's do that. So you are saying me to take one full backup of demo 2 dB. So someone was asking me to check error logs. So demo 2 dB backup full is successful, and then we can take the log. In the meanwhile, can I check the logs, or you want me to
Yes,
go with this
please.
one?
You can check the log as it here.
Okay. Demo 2 db.trn. one full backup, one log backup. That's enough. Okay, so this is the log on node 2, SQL node 2. Are you able to see this, or you want me to zoom?
Yeah, clearly it shows a thumbprint is missing.
Some thumbprint is missing. Okay, so what needs to be done now?
Maybe that encryption has to be enabled on the secondary as well.
Okay, let's check that part. And what I have done from my end. So I'll show you. Thanks, you are spot on. So I would like to congratulate you for that. So what I did is I went here, okay, and I enabled the encryption TD on this database. Okay, so I'll show you. So how to check what are the databases that are part of encryption? I mean, if it is an interview question, so there is one DMV called as DM database encryption keys. If you run this, you'll come to know. But interestingly, it is showing only database ID TempDB, not this one also. So now what? So my database part of TDE?
Yeah, we can use select star from this database easy encryption enabled.
Okay. So select star from this dot databases. Let's go here and check the name and is encrypted column.
Is underscore.
Yeah, is encrypted is there. So let's go and run it. So now
Node 2 we are checking actually. We need to check on node 1.
Node 1.
And node one.
Maybe secondary server database is missing, na? So that's why it's not showing.
bro, the one who said ask me to check node 2 or node 1, who is that? Can I get your name?
Irfan. That is
Irfan.
Ali. Yeah.
Okay. So as you can see, I have the encryption. I just enabled the encryption on the node 1, and I didn't add, and I tried to add that database to always on. Means my database is already part of always on. Okay, the scenario is like this. My database DemoDB is already part of always on, and I went here. Someone client asked me to enable TDE on this database, which is already part of always on. So I went there and I just enabled the always on. That's it. Imagine you are not an experienced DBA. Okay, I'm just talking about a fresher kind of DBA. So he doesn't know how to add a TDE on always on database. So he just went there and he just enabled. He followed all the steps, and he thought everything went fine. But unfortunately, the database is not being properly added to node 2. Okay, so we have a problem here. What is that problem? He just created the TDE by following the 4 steps, but he has not performed any action on node 2. So that's the reason our dashboard is not in a good shape. Like it's in something not synchronizing state. Okay, so what should I do now to overcome this error? Now you got the scenario, right? You know the problem. So how to fix this?
Either we can disable the TDE in the first, that is the one option, and the another one is we can restore the keys backup in the primary and restore the same in the secondary.
That's good.
Go ahead with the steps. So I don't want to disable TDE. I wanted to continue. So let me know the steps then.
You have to take the backup of master key and secretary.
Okay, so get the master key and what is that? Certificate, right? Certificate node 2. Okay, I'm on node 2 now. So the first step is, so I'll go here. Okay, so
from node 1 we have to take.
So yeah, from node 1 we have to take. So I will go onto my mission and I will show you. So this is my private key and this is my certificate on node 1, and I'm copying these files to node 2 onto the same location. I mean, the default location. Okay, now, so I have to, sorry, my screen would have disappeared. So now the second step, first step is you have to copy those files. I've done that. What is the second step? Second step, as you can see, I mean, it's not possible for every DBA to remember all the steps. So I'm just letting you know. So you have to create the master key. So I'm just creating the master key on my node 2. So I'm coming here, I am on node 2 and I'm creating this create the master key on my node 2. So it is successful. Next step is very important. You have to create the certificate. When you are creating the certificate, you have to give the from file. It's not, see this command, it's create certificate name from file. There is no command like restore certificate. We have only create certificate. That is the difference, guys. So in few interviews, people will try to ask you like how to restore a certificate. Don't think that there is a command by name restore certificate. That is not there. It is create certificate from file. That is the command. Okay, and you have to give the password what you have made use of when you are doing it on the primary. So I'm just making use of this, and also read this line, decryption by password. Okay, be very careful. It is decryption by password. It's not encryption by password. When you are restoring, it is create certificate, and one more important thing is decryption by password. These two commands you have to remember. I mean, if you wanted to project yourself as a good interview, good candidate for the interview.
Yeah, these two things has to be mentioned, Vamshi. Like while encryption and decryption, these keywords should be in mind as well.
Yeah, so these two steps are very, very, very important. So I have created the master key and I've created the certificate, and command, as I said, there is no restore certificate. It is always create certificate from file. I have not given the path because it's the with default. So that's the reason the full path is not there. But if you are creating in some other path, you have to pass on the path also, like C:temp or F:"data, something like that. It has to be there. I'm not giving this because I took that into default drives. So I have created the master key and I've created the certificate. So we are done. So now let's come here and click on refresh. Okay, come here. As of now, the database is not appearing. And if I like to do join now, still I'm getting the error. So what is that error? Demo doesn't DB, blah, blah, blah. So if that is the case, I can go here and I can restore my database and I can click on join only. So for that, I have to copy the files. I took the backup to someone. Go ahead.
Yeah, suppose we don't have the decryption password, such cases what we need to do.
That I took one more class on this. What if you forgot the password? So you can create
Because
one more password.
yeah, that's what I did actually last time. Same issue
I think I uploaded that session onto my channel. So yeah, it is there.
Great.
So where is that demo DB or something, right? Okay, let me go with dates. Yeah, these two. Let's copy this and copy them to node 2. So usually you will get these kind of errors. If you are good at reading the error logs, half of our job is done. So please try to read the error logs rather than going with some other stuff. Demo DB. And also be careful if you are restoring on secondary, it should be with no recovery. Because by accident, we have this tendency. So I've done it in the past for big databases also. So be mindful. Of course, we use scripts. We will not use GUI, but still. This is what happens. Okay, click on OK. We are done. Now, if I go here and if I try to join, since I restored both the things, it should be successful. Let's wait for it. So we are in good shape. Hopefully, let's click fresh. And let's check the dashboard. Okay, it's already there, off on. Yeah, we are back to good state. So this is how you should troubleshoot. So actually the error should have been different here. I thought of you showing not synchronizing /suspect because I did few mistakes from my end. That's why the database didn't exist. But usually if you add the database, I mean, if you try to create TDE on a database that is part of Always On, the database in the secondary replicas will go into this state. I took a picture of it. Let me show you that. Where is that pictures? This is how it appears. So this is how it looks. It says not synchronizing /suspect, and it goes into suspended state. In real time, if you add this database to, I mean, imagine this database part of Always On, and you wanted to create TDE on this database, you created that, and you forgot to do the rest of the steps. If that is the case, on all the secondary replicas, your state of the database would be something like this, not synchronizing / suspect. So if it appears for you, usually our tendency is we'll try to restart the secondary replicas thinking that there might be some problem. No, that is not the right approach. You have to read your error logs all the times. Read your error log, read your error log, read your error log. That is the first thing that you have to do. Understand the error logs. And if you find something, just follow the steps that needs to be done to overcome that error. If not, if there are no other options, then you can restart your second replicas provided there are no other databases on that instance. Okay, so that is our class. I thought of doing it in 30 minutes, but it went beyond 30 minutes. I'm sorry. Hope you got something new. So my approach, as I said, read your error logs. That is the main motto of our agenda today. So it should have appeared like this, but I did small mistake from my end. That's why the database didn't appear, but still, at least we understood the concepts. That is what we want, right?
Yes, Vamsi.
Any questions now?
I'm Ravi. I have a question here. You shown screen, right? Do we need to? Can you go to the screen once?
Image.
Image.
Okay, image. This image. Okay.
Yeah. Do we need to remove from availability group or
No.
from secondary?
That's what I'm saying. It depends upon your situations. Don't straight away go and remove your database from secondaries. Like, just imagine, just take our scenario. Okay, what happened in our case? One junior DBA, he got a request from client asking to enable TDE on the primary replica. He did that, and all of a sudden, all our secondary replicas databases went into not synchronizing state. Okay, so if that is the case, as a senior DBA, will you straight away go and remove the databases from always on?
No, we'll review the logs first, then based on that. Yeah.
Yes, that is what I am trying to conclude here. Don't follow the standard approach. Please read your logs, and then if you find something, because sometimes even if you follow all the logs, you will not get any clue, because always on is such a challenging concept where sometimes you will not get any clue. If that is the case, okay, as you said, I don't have any other option. I have to remove the databases from always on. I do agree. Because even I have done that in many cases. But again, I am saying, read your logs, and if you find something, try to address that scenario accordingly. That is my message.
Got it, Vamsi. Thank you.
Yeah. I think there is one message here. Okay. Thank you, bro. So any other questions?
Vamsi, Ali here.
Yeah.
So the next scenario, in case I would like to have it, is like, in case if you want to change the password, what will be the approach?
That is my part 4. Part 4, I have few demos. So I'm just doing it on a part by part basis. I'm just taking your questions also. Thanks for your questions, because it makes me to think in that direction.
Yeah, not a
Vamsi,
problem.
one more thing. Can you explain about lease time also, next scenario? I heard about lease time in Always On, but I did not understand in Google. I Googled it, but I can't identify.
So
I
actually,
did not.
my plan is to create something called as, if I reveal it, it will not be interesting. So I have something for part 4, where I will try to throw the scenarios on you, and you guys have to come up with your solutions. So please be patient. Definitely there will be one session on Always On again. It will be super interesting, because it is something beyond your calculations. Again, very interesting, because if I reveal it, you will come to know, and that session it will not be of much interest. So I don't want to lose that. That will be on something like what you said, like lease timeout. It will be there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so yeah.
This is Vinay.
I didn't get your name.
This is Vinay.
Yeah, I'm getting some background noise. I'm sorry.
Now is it clear?
Yes, now it's fine.
Okay. If we lost TD master, is it possible to recover?
Yes, it is possible. But let me show you that. What is this one? Okay, I'll show this. Okay, if you don't mind, there is one video on my page where you can see what needs to be done if you lose the case. Let me share that link. It is again a long session, lengthy session, but it's very useful. 1 second. Index tuning. You missed the DMK, right? Where is that one? Yeah, this one. How to resolve missing database master key password while migrating the database. I pasted the heading in a different manner, but this is one and the same. You forgot the password or you don't have the passwords. What needs to be done next? So all these things I discussed here. So if you can watch that, you will get to know. I'll share this link. Most of the things are there on my channel itself, guys. So, but the problem is people don't know what I represented inside that video. So I know everyone is having time constraints with your time. So if you have time, try to go out there and watch few videos. All the videos I try to ensure that you will try to learn something new. That is what I did. Okay, so I will catch you some other time.
Vamsi, can you
yeah.
check your blog? I'm not
That
able
is
to
not working. Sorry, guys. I removed I did a mistake, so I lost it. I will paste it here. So it is now SQL Server entire.blogspot.com. That is my blog. It usually it will be with my name, but I lost it. I messed it up. Oh, sorry. Okay, so why I'm seeing who can use Nani? Okay, to everyone in the meeting. Oh, till now I was just sharing to Nani then. I'm sorry. Okay, let's wait for part 4, guys. So it will be interesting again. So it's something related to advanced topics in Always On, where I'm trying to generate that scenario. It's taking some time because it's not that easy. So once I get that, it will be very interesting scenario on Always On again. Okay, so catch you some other time. So
yeah, thank you so much, Vamsi.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Thanks,
guys.
Vamsi.
Thank you, bro, for the session. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Vamsi.
Thank you, Vamsi.
Yeah.
Thank you also. Thank you.